Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Today we're doing a secret fleet battle report. It's fleet ambush and a separatist fleet using TF-1726 against a rebel fleet using Admiral Ackbar, and this is where all the upgrades are hidden. I am running a big Patriot Fist 1726 type of big hit. I've got one of the hard cells, I've got one Providence and one Recusant, and four aces. I've got both named bomber aces and both tri-fighter aces, so four scatter aces for the separatists, just in case. Sean brought a lot of squadrons. He ended up bringing no squadrons, or at least none that I could see. He's got an assault frigate there. He's got a Carillion corvette, and or actually two corvettes, I believe. And we did the fleet ambush, so I had to deploy pretty far forward. And I did not mind. He's got an MC-80 Home 1 style in there. I didn't mind having the Providence as my flagship deploy pretty far forward, because one of my secret cards was the Jedi hostage, and so I was hoping, that he might be tempted to attack that, and then I give out some raid tokens. So here we go, and I'm just going to narrate over top of this. So here we go at the beginning of turn 1. I'm kind of speeding up this, and as you can see at the bottom and at the top, the cards are laid out, but the ship cards really have no upgrades next to them. So we do have our named squadrons, and of course as cards get revealed, there's Hera on the left side. My dog Hera was watching us play. She's a beautiful dog. But yeah, so we just kind of start out. Sean did put one corvette over to the side. And one of the things here is interesting is I was thinking that he might have had squadrons on board his ships, because rapid launch base is a thing. If you're not familiar with Secret Fleet, it's definitely something you can keep in mind as basically an option for all of your upgrades to be hidden until you use them. And so that's a really fun way to play. Now, as you can see, my flagship is getting really, really close. And but I did take a shot on one of the corvettes that's off to the center there, and not a whole lot of damage on it. And now we are just moving along here. Sean moves the assault frigate, and I'm pretty much guessing the assault frigate has gunnery team. And I reveal spinal armament suddenly on my hard cell, because I've got 3 dice in the front. I get to add an extra one too. We get a decent little shot there out of the front on the hard cell, and they kind of zoomed in on the dice there, but. Yeah, we got a nice little shot there, and it's a decent little attack against, and I do a side arc shot also against the corvette, and then we're gonna move. Now, I will tell you guys, the viewers, that all 3 of my ships also have the B2 rocket troopers. If you're running 1726 as your commander for the separatists, you definitely want those rocket troopers to kind of put extra raid tokens. If you're not familiar with 1726, of course, you need to have up to 2 raid tokens on an enemy ship to get up to 2 black dice when you're attacking. That's once per round. You can get 2 dice per raid. And now he attacks me. I reveal Jedi hostage is on the flagship. Although I do make the slight mistake of I assigned him a nav raid token, but the truth is he actually gets to pick his own anti-raid, or his raid token. So we actually go back and correct that in between the rounds, and because he couldn't have done his nav, and he wanted to actually move, and so I made the mistake there of that's one of the things about newer upgrades, is sometimes you make a little bit of mistakes when you're using them. So he's attacking me. He doesn't really get much damage on the flagship, and then I'm kind of explaining, he attacks and gets no damage through, and I'm like, well, you want to use the accuracy at least on my salvo, and so he decides to, because he rolled no hit and an accuracy. So I'm like, well, target the salvo. He's like, but I don't have any damage. And I'm like, well, it's because I could still counter you. He's like, oh, that's right. And so then he puts the CR-90 in front. And I realize I have the wrong Recusant base in there. And then we begin to keep going. Oh, he reveals Ramus Antilles is on his flagship. And he's going to get some free tokens with that. And that's one actual good way to deal with raid tokens, is you can still reveal the command, get the token, use the token to cancel the raid token, and then at least resolve the command as normal. And this is where he's going to adjust that CR90 that just moved a little bit more, because this is when we realize, oh wait, you didn't have to take a raid token of that particular type. You could have taken any raid token you wanted, so he changes out the raid token, and we allow him to kind of redo the maneuver as if he had the extra yaw, and he wanted to be a little farther out. So that's good. Now, I know I'm afraid of this CR90 at this point, because I know that he can resolve a command dial, or actually I should say discard a command dial that's set to a squadron token to send a boarding party over and attack or basically exhaust my Jedi hostage, and then my flagship will be limited to only one defense token for the rest of the game. So that's going to be a problem, and I'm trying not to let him do that. So my big thoughts right now is, how am I going to stop this? I'm first player, Sean is second player. You know, how am I going to kill this CR90 next turn? And so that's going to prove to be difficult, but we'll see, because I got a plan for it. So he's going to bump his own ship, and that's actually a really good thing for me right there, because he doesn't think that I'll be able to kill it, because it looks like it's only in the front arc of the flagship. Now, I want to stress one thing in this game. I don't think Sean has played against Separatists yet. So here we are at round 2. I did move my squadrons into position, and I am kind of tempted to go with the flagship first, but I decided I'm going to go with the Patriot Fist first. And this is where I reveal Sean does Hondo, and I get 2 tokens. One of them is squadron. Now I have happened to plan a squadron command with Patriot Fist. So I actually can activate all 4 squadrons. The Tri-Fighters attack, they get some damage through. Start to lower the shields on the front of that Corellian Corvette. And then my bombers activate. Both of the named bombers actually do really well here. One can get a free accuracy, but the other one can take a damage and add an extra die. So one goes, he moves away. The other one is going to have to move first and move to touch, and then get the third die, and we're going to roll 3 dice, and I think we ended up with 2 damage there. And so he uses his redirect, so I got a lot of his shields down off of these squadrons. And now, of course, we're going to reveal Patriot Fist, and I don't think Sean was prepared for how much Patriot Fist can actually do. And of course, I also have a lot of cards you would expect, like Ordnance Experts with Patriot Fist here down at the bottom, and the swivel mount turrets, and of course TF-1726. So I'm rolling a really big dice pool here at long range, which is one of the things that Patriot Fist can absolutely do, and it is enough to kill the CR90. So the CR90 does not get to activate, and does not get to basically to push forward. And so I am going to move forward at speed 2. And there we go. And now Sean has his first activation, and of course he doesn't get to use that one CR90, so he uses a different CR90, and he is going to take some rear shots on my hard cell. And this is interesting too for any of you playing who have not played against Clone Wars yet. Hard cells are tougher than they look. And of course he lands on the rock, but then reveals, ha 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 ha, this is Jaina's light. And I'm like, oh darn, I thought you were. And now he's right in my rear, so he's kind of safe. And now it's my turn to activate. And so I'm going with the hard cell, and I want to see, hey, you know what? Since I have spinal armament, I actually can attack out of the rear on this hard cell, and that's an important thing to do, especially if you have the rocket droids and you want to be able to do some crazy stuff. But I end up attacking forward, even though it's obstructed. I had concentrate fire and spinal armament, so I was still able to get 3 dice and 3 red and 2 black out the front of a hard cell at long range, which is just so incredible. Like TF-1726 is kind of insane. So I get a lot of damage on his flagship, and now it's time to move. And I'm getting really close, but at least in the case of like an Ackbar Home 1, I don't really have to worry that much about being at close range. Because they're not, at medium range, they're getting their blue dice. At close range, they don't have any black there. So, it didn't matter. I can afford to be at close range. especially with the evade changes. And the hard cells have good defense tokens. So if you don't get, even if you get an accuracy, they got 3 shields in the front. They got 5 hull. So I felt pretty safe. And so Sean's activating here. He is attacking, I believe, with the which one is going right now? That's 6. So I think that's his assault frigate. I think he had a revealed gunnery teams and is doing the he's attacking both my Patriot Fist and the hard cell, trying to get some damage there. And now he's going to move this. So he did reveal gunnery teams with a concentrate fire command. And, he got some damage out there. He definitely weakened some of the shields, but at least on the Patriot Fist, I was able to redirect over to the side. This was a time when it would have been nicer, I think, maybe to have Home 1 as a title on the MC-80. And now, of course, I have to go, and I will go with my flagship. So Sean will get to activate last in this case. And we're checking arcs at this point. Let me know down in the comments section what you guys think of this style of battle report. Is it easier for you to follow? Is it or do you prefer the highlight ones where I only show specific points? Because I know that there's a lot of different battle reports out there, and I try to change it up from time to time. So I have his flagship double arced, but he does also reveal the or he did at the beginning of the game. He has the early warning system, so he's making some of my shots obstructed. But I am able to add 2 black dice to this attack, and he is going to also reveal the weapons team that gives him the ability to spend a defense token to salvo. So no, I'm sorry, not the weapons team, the defensive retrofit that lets him basically get to salvo. So it's a surprise return salvo from the flagship. So again, this is something that's kind of cool that you will only see in Secret Fleet, or is that you might do something that you wouldn't have done if you knew that they had a certain upgrade. And this is one thing I like, about this particular format. So we are kind of narrowing down towards the end of the second round, but he does have to move the flagship, and he's trying to figure out where he's going to move. Or is he taking a second? Oh, maybe he did an Ackbar on that particular one. Oh, because he reveals a different title. It was Defiance, and that's where he got the black dice if he's attacking somebody who has already activated. And I talked to Sean about this. I'm like, well, that's an interesting choice of title here. And he's like, yeah, well, it was good to make me flexible, because you assume disengaged fire control. So he gets a crit on me. But yeah, you assume that an Ackbar MC-80 is only going to attack out of the side arc. But so if you allow him to double arc, because a lot of times people will just say, I'll let you double arc me because you're only going to attack me once. But now he can get more damage out of that because you didn't know what he had. So now we're going to the beginning of turn 3. I am going to go first, and I kind of want to go with the hard cell. The hard cell is almost dead, but I decide I'm going to go with my flagship first. And we got a squadron command, so we're going to activate some of those bombers. And again, we're taking an extra damage on the one bomber who's touching to roll 3 red dice, really lowering the shields on the flagship at this point, and really bringing it all together. And I think going with the flagship was the right move here, because with the double arc at close range and all of the squadrons, we're really putting a lot of damage on that MC-80 right now. And I'll point out that if I can kill the MC-80, then all of a sudden the hard cell has much less of a threat. And I think there was maybe a mistake here, because the MC-80 shifted its early warning system to the rear arc, where it had no shields, but that's where the hard cell was pointed. So he wanted to say, all right, well, if you attack where I have no shields, it's going to be obstructed, or if you attack the side where I still have shields, it's going to be bad. So here we go. We got some big shots coming through again from the double arc shot from the Providence, and I'm not sure if that was enough to do it. That was actually so I ended up getting him down to only 1 health. and I used my movement to ram to finish him off. So between the squadrons and both double arc shots, I had just one shy. And at this point, Sean concedes, and that's going to do it for the game. So yeah, he called it at that point, and that is about the end of the game. Just because he had lost his commander, and one assault frigate wasn't going to go up against two mostly full strength large separatist ships that are going to kind of make short work of it. So. Yeah, but the Secret Fleet was a lot of fun. This was a little bit of a shorter game. Of course, that's aided by the fact that I really sped things up. But hopefully, let me know what you guys think of Secret Fleet as a format. We have information on that on Crabbok.com. I have a lot of Armada content on Crabbok.com, and there will be a lot more coming in the next couple of months as we start to work on more community-based content. So be sure to check it out. Check the links in the description below. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching, and big thanks to my patrons as well. You guys help make this channel possible, so be sure to stay tuned for more. And always remember, when playing Armada, roll your dice on the table, not on the floor.